In a world where power is measured in billions and every choice becomes a headline, there are moments that stop everyone in their tracks. Moments when the world's most watched figures step out of the shadows of fortune, fame, and controversy, and into something far more unexpected. This is one of those moments. Because when Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez quietly pledged more than $100 million to help families escape homelessness, it didn't just shake the news cycle. It ignited a new chapter in a story the public thought they already knew. A story of love, reinvention, and the complicated world of billionaire responsibility. And behind the cameras, behind the whispers, behind the polished smiles, lies a deeper truth, one Hollywood has seen many times, but rarely at this scale. A truth about legacy, redemption, and the price of rebuilding your image in the brightest spotlight on Earth. Tonight, we step inside that story, and nothing about it is as simple as it seems. There are stories that begin quietly, almost too quietly for the world to notice. A press release here, a morning show appearance there, a few smiling photographs of two people who seem to be living the kind of life most of us only imagine on magazine covers. But in Hollywood, in the world of narratives, perception, and the silent dance between fame and power, nothing is ever as simple as it looks. Not even generosity. Not even love. And certainly not when billions of dollars, media scrutiny, and the weight of global influence sit at the center of the conversation. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez Bezos stood beneath studio lights this week, announcing something that, at first glance, seems like just another headline about wealth meeting philanthropy. A donation. A large one. $102.5 million, written on paper as casually as the rest of us might write a grocery list. Money directed to 32 nonprofits fighting homelessness, helping families who have lost the fragile stability of a permanent place to sleep. A number big enough to impress, but small enough, some argue, to invite skepticism. Yet the truth is more complicated, more cinematic, more layered than any quick conclusion. Because every story involving Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez is no longer just a story. It is a mirror reflecting society's obsession with wealth, power, reinvention, and redemption. It is the modern Hollywood narrative, the billionaire, the journalist turned aviation specialist, the empire, the scandal, the comeback, and the promise that the next chapter will be bigger, louder, and more transformational than the last. But today, the spotlight shines on something surprisingly fragile: human need, real families, real children, real nights spent in cars, shelters, and on borrowed sofas hoping the next morning will bring a different kind of life. The Bezos announcement wasn't delivered as a grand red carpet moment. Instead, it arrived like a quiet scene in the middle of a dramatic film, one that reveals something raw and unexpected. And that is where our story truly begins. Jeff Bezos, a man whose net worth hovers around $256 billion, looked into the camera during an interview and repeated something he has said for years. He intends to give away most of his fortune. Not after he is gone. Not in a slow, occasional drip of donations. But during his lifetime, an almost impossible task when your wealth grows faster than you can sign the checks. He admits it isn't easy. Not because he can't afford it, but because, as he explains it, giving away tremendous wealth responsibly requires structure, planning, and a long-term vision. It requires what he calls the right way to make the biggest impact. And so he built systems: the Day One Families Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, and the Courage and Civility Award. Each one a different path, each one meant to address a different corner of human struggle. But each one also carrying the weight of public perception, admiration, cynicism, curiosity, and sometimes suspicion. Beside him stands Lauren Sánchez Bezos, a woman whose own journey has been anything but simple. Former news anchor, pilot, producer, a figure both celebrated and scrutinized, praised for her philanthropic work and dissected for her relationship with one of the world's most powerful men. Hollywood loves a complicated woman, and the media treats her as one. Glamorous, determined, polarizing, and often misunderstood. But here, in this moment, she looks almost softly emotional as she talks about the families they are helping. She tells a story from a recent visit to Community of Hope in Washington, D.C. A mother, an infant, a temporary shelter, a quiet interaction that reminded her, she says, that philanthropy is not about numbers, it's about lives. Selfishly, it fills my heart meeting these families. She tells Good Morning America, almost whispering the confession. This is just the beginning. In the background of their announcement lies a parallel storyline, one that Hollywood would call the shadow narrative, the overlooked subplot that explains the bigger picture. That subplot belongs to MacKenzie Scott, Bezos' ex-wife, a woman whose divorce settlement became one of the most consequential philanthropic events of the modern era. In just 5 years, she has given away more than $19 billion, a figure so enormous it doesn't just rewrite records, it rewrites expectations of what philanthropy should look like. Her giving style is fast, quiet, and unpredictable. No elaborate foundations. No long press conferences. She finds organizations, often small, often overlooked, and changes their futures overnight. It is the opposite of traditional billionaire philanthropy, and Hollywood has framed the contrasting styles of Bezos and Scott as if they were two characters in a prestige drama, each representing a different philosophy of generosity. But the truth is far less dramatic and far more human. This is not a rivalry. It is two separate lives, two separate missions, shaped by the same origin story. And this is where the Hollywood lens becomes unavoidable. Because the world doesn't just watch Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez for their philanthropy. The public watches them because of their relationship, a relationship that began under the relentless glare of scandal and has since transformed into something polished, unified, and almost cinematic. In the entertainment world, their story is told like a redemption arc, and redemption arcs always sell. The couple has grown into a kind of power duo presence. Red carpet appearances, climate events, charity galas, space launches, and carefully curated glimpses into their life together. Some see authenticity, some see branding, some see both. But what catches the world's attention is the contrast. The man who built Amazon from a garage, and the woman who reinvented her career not once, not twice, but nearly every decade of her adult life. This donation announcement then doesn't stand alone. It becomes part of the narrative Hollywood loves, the blend of wealth, reinvention, controversy, and public service. The question isn't just what they donated. It is what the donation symbolizes. It is what the camera doesn't show. It is the emotional engine behind the public statements. Because when billionaires speak about generosity, the world listens with both hope and suspicion. And the truth lies somewhere in the middle. To understand the full picture, we must go deeper. We must look past the lights, past the headlines, past the curated interviews. We must step into the world where power meets responsibility, where image meets intention, where philanthropy becomes a character in the larger story of two people stepping into the global spotlight not as entrepreneurs, not as journalists, not as a divorced couple with separate missions, but as individuals navigating a world that is always watching. And as the story unfolds, you begin to see it the emotional undercurrent, the tension between public perception and private intention. The part Hollywood rarely shows but audiences always feel. That is the story we will explore. And this is just the beginning.